I was like, am I crazy enough to leave six-figure job and
start all
union
over.
benefits?
Yeah.
And my husband said, you're crazy. And I said, something about this, like, it was that residual income. It was that unlimited earning potential. Yep. And I was like, I told my husband, I'm going to do this.
Whether you're a seasoned vet of the payments industry or a brand new rookie who just heard the term dual pricing for the first time, you're in the right place. This is the only podcast that shares the strategies and stories behind selling merchant services. Welcome to Agent First.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Agent First podcast. I'm excited for today. I'm Justin Vollrath, the host here, and I am thrilled to be here with agent extraordinaire, Kristina Meyer. Kristina, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
We've known each other for a long time. Back when you were in St. Louis,
yes.
I think originally when we met. So, but I'd love to hear your story, because I'm sure there's parts that I don't know, right? And so, I always say this is that nobody grew up and said, I want to be in the merchant services industry. Like, none of us, right? Yeah. Some little kid at like career day saying that stuff. But, so somehow you stumbled into this, right?
Yes.
So I'd love to hear your story kind of before payments.
Yeah.
How did you get into this?
It's so interesting. I was telling this story last night to Steve and his wife and Lexi, my sister-in-law who's with me, and I'm sure she's heard it through the years, but it's so fascinating. I was in a career right out of college. I knew I was going to be in sales. My whole life, my dad was in sales. My uncles were all in sales. It's just like in our DNA,
Yeah.
I was in a job I really couldn't stand the management. Like, it was so bad, and I made fantastic money. It was a union sales force.
Okay.
And so we were protected with a lot of things, and we also had phenomenal benefits. And I had my first child, and I looked at his sweet little face, and I was like, I don't want to teach him to grow up and be miserable. And so that maternal instinct, really kicked in, and I was like, I really want to do something that I'm passionate about. And I had a friend who was on, she was also pregnant. I was on going on maternity leave. And she was like, hey, there's this, because we worked in newspaper.
Okay.
We were in ad sales at a big paper in St. Louis. And it was a Pulitzer paper. It was getting the good days of ad sales. Those don't exist anymore. But she was like, you should go to this cattle call for salespeople and see what you think. Because it was 4 or 5 hiring managers. Everybody's going to go and speed date them. Yeah. And I went
like a hotel room
in a huge ballroom.
Yeah. I've been those.
Hundreds of 3-piece suit dressed, I think they were out of work, like medical salespeople or pharmaceutical sales. And I was like, what am I doing here? This is ridiculous. But something just told me to stay. And I now know, for me, that's the Holy Spirit was like, just stay. And I was the third to last person in the room.
Oh, wow.
And I was the very last person to talk with Heartland Payment Systems. I just said it.
You're good.
So the hiring manager was like, instant click. And she was like, I want to hire you, but you live in Illinois. Yeah. And so she introduced me to the hiring manager. And at the time, I was in my, I was 27, I think. And I was like, am I crazy enough to leave six-figure job and
start all
union
over.
benefits? Our max out of pocket was like $1,200. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And my husband said, you're crazy. And I said, something about this, it was that residual income. It was that unlimited earning potential. Yep. And the guy who interviewed me, I loved him. He was super genuine, kind. And I was like, I told my husband, I'm going to do this. And he was like, no, don't do it, And so the first year, I made like $37,500.
All right. Yep.
I went from 6 figures to that. Yeah. And it was hard. And I was like, if I have to learn another acronym.
Yeah.
Because of all the acronyms in our industry.
Our industry loves acronyms. That's
wow.
For sure. Yeah.
I was like, and I told my manager, I was like, please stop using the acronyms. I need you to say the words, because I have no clue what you're talking about. Yeah. So it was a very rough transition as far as understanding the industry. And then just clockwork, that we used to get the paintings, and it was like that out of the woods experience was so real.
Absolutely.
And it was when I was like, I can do this.
Yeah, I'm there, right? I got out of the hard part.
And it became a thing I chose instead of something I was Take me out of this now.
So what year was that when you started?
So 2010 is when I started.
Okay.
Yeah, is when I started payments. And, I would say it got sweet in 2012, maybe.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So 16 years you've been in this
15.
industry.
It'll be at the end of this year. It'll be 16.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess we're just
15 years.
Yeah, 15 years.
Which is crazy.
And in those 15 years, you've experienced both being, for most of your career, I mean, I know your stories obviously quite a bit, but you were a W-2 salesperson, right?
Absolutely.
And now you've made the transition to 1099.
Yeah.
How's that been for you? Because I mean, there are people out there listening to this right now that are like, gosh, which way should I go? And
I wish somebody, I wish that we knew more then.
Yeah.
Life would be a lot different, but I don't regret my journey, of course. But for anyone that's like, I'd say there's there's people who can sell, and there's, people who weren't made that way. If you can sell, if you can sell and you get a good product or service, trust yourself.
Right.
Because you're investing in yourself. You're like taking that risk.
Yeah.
If you believe in you, do it.
There you go.
Do it. I wish I would have done it so much longer, and all of us do that have been at the corporate levels and then come to 1099 world. But we get that blend, with Pay Compass, we get that incredible support team.
That's awesome. Thank you.
The family dynamic. I am elated to be.
Appreciate that.
They did not pay me to say this. I love it so much. I'm so happy.
Appreciate that.
I was trying to recruit a server at the restaurant we were at yesterday. Like, you should see if our service team is hiring.
You never stop selling.
Amazing.
You never stop selling.
Oh,
I know that about you. So when you think back about your W-2 days, there was structure, systems, requirements, we all remember the days of FTAs. There's another acronym that we none of us want to think about.
Trauma.
But all these systems and structure. And for those out there, FTA stood for first time appointments, and it was kind of how the group was managed and expectations for a long time. What did you take from those days though that has been huge for you? Because some things, everything from our past obviously helped create us who we are today, and
absolutely.
I know you believe deeply in that.
Yeah.
So are there some things you think back to those days like, boy, I'm glad I did that because it's helped me today?
Yeah. One of the things that we've learned in our industry and being, self-starter and all of those things is the hardest door to pull is your own. Get out there, and so that was one of the things. The fire-breathing dragon of FTAs was something that did help me to understand it's all numbers.
Yeah.
And one of my managers at the next company I was at, he's just wonderful. He's like, it's all just math. It's all numbers. If you do this, you're going to get here. And so that was a good thing because it was like, the rebellious child when the parent tells you to do something, you don't want to do it. Right. But it turns out that math does work.
Right.
And just getting out, being with people is my, complete fuel. Love people so much. I love spending time with people it's not just about sales for me, and especially over the years that's developed a ton, but I love building relationships with people. And that was something like the title that I had first was relationship manager. That's pretty darn cool because that's what you're doing. If you're doing it right, is you're managing a relationship and getting to know your clients. They become your friends.
Right.
I invited several of my clients to my 40th birthday party because I absolutely adore them. They're great people, and I want to help their business.
Absolutely.
So I think, yes, absolutely. I learned a lot about, the numbers side of things.
Yeah.
And, but I was in management, right away. I was a team leader, and that part of my life, I'm so glad to see go. I did it for so long, and I was successful at it.
You were a good TM. Yeah.
Because I loved my people too. I love my merchants, but I love my people. And so it was just like at this point in my life, I'm so glad not to be. So I love that other people are doing that.
Yeah.
But I loved having a team that, that was another thing that motivated you to succeed. Was that you want your people to have a good leader to watch,
Absolutely,
So,
You got to be a good example, right?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So away from work, there's obviously, your work is driven by what motivates you.
Yes.
And there's something, there's that passion that makes you pull that door every morning, right? Do the things you do.
Yep.
What is the motivation for you? What is the things you're wildly successful. You've done amazing stuff. You've built a great career, but you're still out there working your tail off all the time. Yeah. What is that? What presses you?
It's so interesting because my Pay Compass journey has been so different than my other, my past experiences in the industry. Uh-huh. So when I came to Pay Compass, I made a deal with God. And I said, I'm going to focus on kingdom first stuff. And I'm going to need you to make me successful. I'm going to need you to make my phone ring. And it's worked out so incredibly well.
Okay.
So literally so I'm in ministry. If you can't tell, I love Jesus. So I'm in youth ministry, but I also take very seriously the fact that we're all in ministry. All of us believers are in ministry and everything that we do. So my merchants know that I love Jesus too.
Right.
And they aren't.
You don't hide it. I know that.
They aren't sad about it. So they're very welcoming to that. And I live in the Bible Belt of Michigan. So it's the West Michigan coast is known as the Bible Belt for Michigan. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay. It's down the coast. So I find myself very fortunate to be there because we moved, from St. Louis up there. But I love helping people. So when I talk to my merchants, I'm not just there to ask them about things that are related to me. I am there to see if I can help their business in any way. So I like to ask people, what's the biggest challenge you're facing today in your business? And I'm going to assume it's not about, I'm going to hope it's not about me. I'm going to really hope it's not about me. But I'll find out, we really need this position filled and we're having a hard time filling it. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I know so-and-so, let me help connect you. So that's that networking piece, that was really important in our early years of learning that. And just helping people fill voids in there. And a lot of times I become a therapist too,
right?
Because I'm okay with that. I want to know about their daughter's, sports that I know they're in. Right. How's that going? How's football for your son? And they're like, oh, wow, because I care.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm manipulating them to get a sale. I already have their business.
Right.
I like to cultivate relationships.
Right.
And I do that, caring about the individual person.
Yeah.
And their employees. I like to get to know their employees.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
You actually have to, I say this all the time, is you actually have to give a damn. You can't just pretend you do, because they're going to see through that, right?
They can sniff it. It's we always refer to commission breath.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
If they know that you're there for you.
Yes.
It doesn't feel authentic. Right. It doesn't feel right. So getting within yourself, your heart posture to be my manager at the last company I was at, he was always come from a place of contribution. When you come from a place of contribution, he said it all the time, people feel that, they know that it's authentic. So it's getting it right within yourself. Your heart posture needs to be let me be of contribution to you first. And as it turns out, when we put others first, man, does that work out for us.
That's right. It all works out, doesn't it?
It's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
So as you've built this, and I think I know this answer, but as you've built this, there's so many different ways that you can build in this industry, right? There are people who are cold callers, that are networkers, that are, all I do is, social media. All I do is software vendors or whatever. And there's kind of mixtures of both. And all of us are mixtures in some way, but what's your go-to? When you open that door every day, what's your go-to? What's driving the success of your business?
So different now as a, being 15 years in.
Yeah.
So different now. My clients are my number one referral source, and I don't pull a lot of doors. Okay. I don't do a lot of cold calling, but I love cold calling. Yeah. I love meeting new people. For me, and I love that. And do not solicit on the door. I'm I'm not soliciting you. I'm trying to build a friendship here.
Yeah.
I never pay attention to that sign. But I really enjoyed cold calling for most of these years.
Okay, yeah.
So, and I still would, I'd still go cold call. As it turns out, I just don't need to anymore because I've built such solid relationships. My referrals at this point are my business.
Yeah.
And that's if you're doing it right. That's how that works out. But I so love meeting new people. And so when you call it cold calling, it sounds like it's work. But when you say, I'm going to go make some friends, meet some new people, it's fun. And taking someone with you. So a couple of times I've gone with people from my networking group because, I don't have another Pay Compass person with me in Grand Rapids. Yeah. So man, is it fun. And we just are laughing and smiling and having a good time. And when we bring that into someone's business, they're what are you doing?
What are you up to? Yeah.
You guys are trouble, and we're no, we're just having fun, out meeting new people. And that's actually how I fell into my networking group that I've been a part of since 2019.
Okay.
We were out cold calling, and it was a horrible day. It was cold. It was rainy. It was terrible. And it was one of my reps was with me at the time. And she was like, maybe we should just skip this last one because we had to leave and go to an appointment that she had scheduled. And then we were going to come back, and I got lost. It was awful. I said, you know what? I said, sometimes people say, things work out for a reason. I said, sometimes the enemy is trying to stop us from something good. We're going in that door. We pulled the door. We were chatting in the lobby. They were busy. It was like an automotive or a auto body shop.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this young guy comes up to us, starts chatting. He's like, you guys are fun. Like, have you ever been a part of a networking group? And we were like, we've been talking about joining a networking group. And he's like, well, I need a substitute tomorrow.
Oh.
So he like totally solicited us, and he's in sales, into a networking group. And it was across the road from where my rep lived. So she could get up and be there in 5 minutes, And so she's like, I'll totally cover for you. And then the owner hears us, and he says, any chance you want to cover my networking group tomorrow morning? And I was like, sure. So
That's
I substituted
crazy.
for him for like 6 months in his own group, and ended up getting his business too, which was great. I hoped so too. It took a little longer than I expected, but I ended up in this fantastic group of people, this networking group, and it's like pulled the door.
Yeah.
Especially when you feel like you shouldn't. Something good might be on the other side of it.
I love that.
Get in there, find out. And I love tough people too. I like tough merchants.
You want challenges, yes.
Yes, not after I get the sale. Before I get the sale, then I need them to straighten up.
So if there was one industry, if tomorrow you had to say, and this takes us back to like those vertical days, right? But nightmares. But if you had to tomorrow choose one industry, I could only sell into this one industry, what would it be for you?
Automotive repair.
I knew you were going to say that.
Automotive repair.
Yeah. Why?
So,
Why is that?
It's so simple.
Yeah.
And if it'll be a click for some people, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, they are open from 8 or 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they're closed on the weekend.
Perfect.
They don't call me on Saturday or Sunday, but also they're completely my speed of people. So I grew up in a really tiny community, graduated in a public school class of 23 kids, very, very small. Yeah. And that kind of grassrootsy community where everyone knows everyone is my total vibe. Like I love that. Yeah. And those are my kind of people. They're hardworking. Yeah. They're just really genuine.
Yes, I agree.
Even if it's not what you want to hear, they're going to tell you the truth.
It's funny. If you ask me the same, I would say the same thing. And I love it because usually a lot of times just a terminal on the counter, right? We don't have to worry about a whole integration. And usually the owner's always there, not like a restaurant where he's, you don't know, right?
They're
he's
there.
Gonna be there. Yeah, they're always there.
Yeah. And a lot of times if they've built a successful business, they're behind the counter. They're not underneath a car.
They're not turning wrenches. That's right.
And they're just like, straight to the point. Yep. What can you do to help? Will you answer my phone call when I call you? They're very easy to please.
Right.
I love it. And then, because, in restaurants, you're adding in, everyone's your client in that building.
Yeah, so
everyone who touches the equipment is your client. And with the automotive repair, it's the owner or his, manager sometimes.
Right. But you're right. You're not getting that call at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night because they can't get the tips to go through or something.
Stop doing that to yourself. I mean, stay out of West Michigan. But don't come and sell in my area. But it is my favorite for sure.
What would you say, when you think about your career, you think about this whole journey, the last 15 plus years, is there a person, a manager, somebody that sticks out to you that is like, this person was so influential, so big part of that, of my growth?
Yeah.
Is there, what did that person mean to you? How did they help you get there? What did they do for you?
Okay. So this is going to be a 2-parter. Okay. It's gotta be.
That's good.
But it's my 2 managers, like my original and then my second. And luckily I only had, 2. And I will say, I don't even remember. There's probably some other people in the mix. But it was the original guy who hired me. Heart of gold.
Yeah.
Just like that, I say at Pay Compass, like there's this common thread here. We're family-oriented, loving, caring individuals here. It's just foundational. Yep. That was who they were. So like the first manager I had,
You want to say their names?
Oh yeah.
Who?
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be terrible. They're both Bill.
Yeah.
But the first one,
so. That's what I thought.
Vance.
Yeah.
I was like, Bill Vance.
Bill Vance.
So Bill Vance was the first one who interviewed and hired me.
Always had the hat on.
Oh, the fedora?
Yeah.
Yes.
Always has fedora.
Such a lovely, kind person.
Absolutely.
And gave of himself so much for my success. The first like kind of big account I sold, I went into labor on install day. I was in the hospital. He's on the phone with me trying to it wasn't on install day, it was on signing day.
Yeah.
And it was like, a 12,000 margin deal. And he's like, are you still there? I can't hear you. I'm like, I'm having a contraction. Please hold. He was taking care of things for me, and it was hilarious. But I can't remember how many years I worked with him, but a lot. And I loved him, genuinely.
Absolutely.
We loved each other like family.
Absolutely.
And then when I moved to Michigan and had Bill Like.
Right. Yeah.
The Bills.
Yeah, the Bills. Double Bills.
Bill Like, definitely a lot less hard on his sleeve person. So straight to the point and cared really, really, really
Very
cared.
analytical. I bet he taught you a lot.
Extremely analytical.
On that part of it. Yeah.
But you know what? I loved that because if you know your numbers,
Yep.
you can accomplish things. And at the end of the day, he was the one who taught me be of contribution to the business, always of contribution to the business. But he cared about me and everyone else on his team so much.
Absolutely.
So much. He wanted our success more than we probably did.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's laid the foundation for you in so many ways that I think there's so many managers or leaders in this industry that are teaching people how to be selfish, right? And that's the way to success, as opposed, I only got to look out for me, as opposed to, man, if I just look out for everybody else, it's so much easier, so much more rewarding, right? It's easier to look yourself in the mirror.
So is, and that's the difference. We were talking about that last night at dinner about how the world today says make money, that'll make you happy. And people who make money know that's not what makes you happy. And it's like what you really want to do is find out how to help people.
Yeah. And
then as you help people, you're blessed.
The rest will work itself out.
It just is so good. It's such good reverse math.
I love that. Well, Kristina, thanks for being here today. I've enjoyed this conversation. I love this. And I can assure you, whether you realize it or not, your story is inspiring for others, and people will listen to this and they'll be inspired, and it'll help some people maybe who are struggling to look at you, look at your journey, hear your journey, and say, boy, I can do this as well. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, you can do this. And my phone's always available. Call me.
Oh, wow. We'll put her number on the podcast. All right, everybody. Thanks for another great podcast. We'll see you next time.